Hello, my name is Carmen Davenport from Black Dollar Indie, and you have tuned in to Get the Bag, where we talk to local businesses about their journey, their challenges, and successes. Today, we have with us Ashley Burton, founder, two-time,
Two times.
two-time winner, pitch winner, y'all, two-time pitch winner, first place
Yes.
and second place pitch winner, Ashley Burton of Education on Wheels and Tutoring and More. So how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I am wonderful. I'm
Good.
glad you came by to see us.
Yes.
Yes.
I appreciate all the knowledge I got from you, so I'm gonna always stay connected to you, Miss Carmen. Definitely.
I'm excited to see what you are doing now. I like to talk about the person behind the product or service. So who is Ashley? Give us a little bit.
Ashley is a very creative, free-spirited person. I would literally give somebody this shirt off my back, especially children. Since I was a young child, I've always had a passion for just loving children and really educating children. I knew from early on that I was going to be a teacher and work in the education field, and especially to Black and brown children. I feel like they, get the short end of the stick a lot of times in education, especially our Black and brown boys. That is really my passion. I always love educating the boys because you get a little boy who can't sit down and they want to label him and do all that stuff when that's just not the case. You got to meet them where they're at. So that has always been my goal, is to meet children where they're at.
Okay.
And a lot of times the parents don't know where to go to get these resources. So even being a resource to the parents, hey, you need help, you might need help applying for food stamps or CCDF or even just, outside of education. So just being a resource for people. I come into your life, I at least want to leave it better than what, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It was. And just even if I can give you a little nugget of wisdom or just point you in the right direction, I'm just a helping hand. I love helping people.
Okay.
It's always been my passion.
I love. I love that. So what made you start your business and how did you come up with the name?
I used to teach pre-K at Holy Angels, started there in 2017. And, after school, I would always say, children, come to my room. Miss Ashley, can we do our homework in here? And I was like, okay. And then, Miss Ashley, can you help me? And then I realized, like, oh, okay, these children need extra help outside of the classroom. So that's where I really like, you know what? After school, Miss Ashley's going to start tutoring. And then I have parents, you know what, Miss Ashley, I'll pay you. How much? It just kind of evolved from that. Education on Wheels, I used to call it Kings and Queens Tutoring, but Education on Wheels and More kind of encompasses more of what I do, not just the tutoring side, but the enrichment activities, or a mom might need help with, making sure her child's IEP is implemented. So that's why and more, because I can do so much more than just the tutoring.
Okay, and then the on wheels part, because that's the part I think
Yes.
is super unique. That's
Yes.
the value. This is your unique value that you bring to the community. Talk about the on wheels part. What does that
Yes,
mean?
so the on wheels part, my dream is to eventually get a mini bus, gut it out, and turn it into a mobile classroom. So that is my goal. I want to meet these families and these children where they're at. You know what? You can't come to me, your mom don't have a car, Miss Ashley's gonna pull up, come outside, get in a van, and we do what we do, and then you know what I mean? You go back into the house. And even pulling up to like indie parks and stuff, I want to be able to get Wi-Fi, so any kid can come. Miss Ashley's in a park for 2 hours, come bring your homework, I have free Wi-Fi for y'all. You know what I mean? I just want to be a resource to the community, because we have to meet them where they're at. They necessarily might not be able to get to me, but I can get to them. And that's what the on wheels mobile, like I'm coming to you, I'm bringing it to your doorstep.
And what was your motivation? What made you decide to leap out there and do this? You're doing it full time now?
I still work full time,
Still
but
work
then I
full-time?
just do it on because like I said, I've been doing it for so long. It's like, Ashley, like really hone into your skills, really take this serious. People would tell me all the time, like, girl, you have so many gifts, like don't just do this stuff for free. Like actually, make a business of it. And, that's what I'm doing. I want people to really look to me as a resource and really establish my name in the community. Not just like, that's Miss Ashley, but really like, that's Miss Ashley. Like, she gonna get you together in that classroom. You know what I mean? And I have had so many students, that over the years, hey, Miss Ashley, you know what? They're in high school, they come give me hugs, but just knowing that you were once in my classroom sitting at the table, I was helping you write your name or write your letters, and now you are so, you have just grown, into this mature young adult. So that really brings me joy to see those babies like grow up and really like, I don't need help anymore, Miss Ashley. I got it. Like, I just had to help give them that little boost.
What did you think about COVID and how the students had to be at home and different things like that? I know there were some things that you did during COVID to make sure that you were still meeting the needs of those students. Tell us about that.
So during COVID, I was actually still teaching at Holy Angels. So that was a that was a crazy experience, for me to not be in the classroom anymore, but to have 20 different children and families calling me constantly, asking for help. So from that, I was like, you know what? There has to be an easier way for me to educate these babies, but it has to be quickly because they're pre-K, 3 and 4 years old. Their attention spans were not there. Learning boards. I was on, I think, Pinterest one day. A trifold lady had a trifold board, put ABCs, numbers, colors, shapes, just all the basic information. It's like, you know what? Let me just go on and make one, put it out there on Facebook. And after that, I think once I did that, I had like 50 orders, and then it just kept, from there, it just kept going. Like, Miss Ashley, can I get a learning board? Yes, you can. And learning boards, those can last for as long, you just keep them, when they're done, fold it back up, put it in the corner. They can last forever. Because then after they learn the basics, hey, I need you to spell these months and spell these days of the week. You can just keep going and going. So
I like that.
yes.
Are you selling those now?
Yes,
Is that
ma'am. I do
something that's
sell
on the
those.
market?
Yes, so I do sell those. $30 for the learning boards, learning binders. So that would be for the older kids. It's just in a binder instead of like on the trifold board.
Okay.
And I can customize them if they have sensory issues or anything. So I can definitely customize them.
Edna Martin Christian Center presents the 2025 Entrepreneurship Showcase, May 10th from 11 to 4 at the Frederick Douglass Park Family Center, 1616 East 25th Street. Multiple vendors selling products and services, food, fun, music, and networking. Did I mention free? Yes, it's free for the entire family. So come out and support May 10th from 11 to 4 at the Frederick Douglass Park Family Center. Sponsored by IAAQLA. Why is it important for families to advocate for their children to get into programs like yours?
If you don't advocate for your baby, nobody else is gonna go as hard as as hard as you would for your child. I tell people that all the time. If you as a parent don't care what those people are doing in that classroom with your kid, they're not gonna care. They're not gonna wanna care. You know what I mean? So I feel like you have to, you know what? No, that's not gonna work for my baby. This isn't gonna work. I need something better. You have to be your child's biggest voice because they don't have a voice yet. So you have to do it.
I love that.
You have to do it.
I love it.
And I'm that teacher, you know what? And I always tell, we're a partnership. It's not like, hey, this is Miss Ashley's room and I'm just the boss and you do. No, what do you want me to teach your kid? What are you doing at home? What works? What doesn't work? Because I have to, ask you for those questions as well. So
okay, I like
yes.
that you're engaged
Yes.
with not just the child but the parents.
Yes.
You encourage the parents to
Yes.
be engaged as well.
Yes.
You were part of the Edna Martin Christian Center program as well.
Yes.
And in the beginning, I said you were two-time
Yes.
winner. You won first place for your cohort and then second place in the overall event. So how do you think the Edna Martin Free Business Program prepared you for those things and for other things that you have going on in your business right now?
I think I learned so much. It really prepared me how to not wait on anybody. Like, I don't need a whole team behind me. Like, I literally can get out there and do this on my own. I didn't use the websites, all that stuff, that all the resources you gave us were almost all free. It didn't take nothing for me to get on the web. And you know what? I didn't need a whole team. Like, Ashley, you can do this. You can read and write. You can do, this thing. It just really helped me. You know what? No one's going to put it in my lap. I really have to go out there and get it and then surround myself, around other people who also have that, like mindset as well. I mean, all the people you would bring into class was just like, wow, I didn't know this. I didn't know the library had this free resource and all this stuff. It was amazing. I got my binder. I got everything you gave us, and I still use my stuff. I definitely do.
Good. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you, though.
Thank you.
You worked so hard on your pitch and just in the class in general.
Thank you.
You definitely stepped up, and everything that you're doing
Thank you.
is definitely noticeable. Since then, what kind of partnerships or resources have you tapped into that will help further your business?
So right now, I'm going to start applying for some contracts to DCS, Department of Child Services. They have, they need tutors and mentors. They need a whole community of people to help, these children. Sometimes those children sit in the offices on, the weekends because they have no place to go. So that's when I would come in, hey, I have 4 hours available. I can come and tutor, those kids so they're not just sitting in the office because that's the reality of it now. A lot of those children just sit there. They have nowhere to go sometimes. And why not be a resource to those babies? Because they need it as well.
Absolutely.
And that just give them more stability because life is kind of unstable for them while they're going through that process. And Indy Parks is another one that I'm beginning to reach out to and, apply. I want to be able to go to their parks and, hey, Miss Ashley's at the park. And Indy Parks can help, with the lunches and free food over the summer. So that's one of the things I want to tap into with them as well.
Okay, good. Talk a little bit about the challenges that you've had just kind of getting into the industry and moving it along, and any frustrations that you may have gotten along the way that you've actually overcome?
I think just at first it's so overwhelming. Like, oh my God, I have to do all this. I have to learn all this. And it's like, once I got that part, is staying focused, like really having an accountability partner is like key to this. Like, hey, Miss Ashley, did you fill that paperwork out? Did you do this? Did you send this email? Just having
Mm,
somebody to keep me on my toes as I, pursue. And I really just think learning not to try to do everything at once. That's my biggest thing. I'm kind of an overachiever. So if I say I want to do this, I'm like,
mhm.
okay, I want to do this all in one day. But it's like, it's not going to happen like that, Ashley. Like, you got to, bits and pieces. And I learned that through the class. Like, you would have us just do little things every week. And then at the end, it's like, wow, I got this whole business plan. You know what I mean? It all came together. So just learning to take off little pieces and work through it. And I don't have to conquer the world in one day.
That's
It'll
right.
happen.
That's right. What advice would you give parents
Hmm.
out there that are struggling to get their children the help that they need in terms of tutoring and different things? What advice would you give them? Some things outside of definitely calling Miss
Right.
Ashley, but what are
Definitely.
some of the things they can do at home to just kind of prepare them?
Research, get online and you know what I mean, research the Indiana Department of Education, they list the standards, things that your children should know at that grade. And even with the teachers, hey, I need to meet with you every week, or even if it's just a phone call, I need to know how my child is doing. Don't wait until April to tell me my baby is not gonna pass on to the
Yeah.
next grade. We need this constant communication. And you know what? Email, email, email. I'm very big on paper chains when it comes to school because that is proof documentation. Even if you have a phone conversation, after that conversation, per our phone conversation, send that email. We discuss X, Y, and Z, and start following up. Hold them accountable. You have to hold them accountable because if you don't, they're gonna, oh,
Yeah.
she didn't call and check on this IEP, so if we don't implement it today, who cares? And then that day will go into another week, and then you have to hold them accountable
Yeah.
because they are there to teach your baby. That is their job. So
Yeah, and you offer parental help as well, right?
yes, yes,
So
ma'am.
I thought I heard you say that if they
Yes.
needed to write a letter to,
Yeah, a letter, or you say, hey, Miss Ashley, I don't understand anything they saying in this IEP meeting. Can you come and sit with me? Absolutely. I can, just being a child advocate. That somebody, if the parent doesn't know, that's okay. That's my job. You know what? I can read this for you and break it down into terms you can understand. Because a lot of times in those meetings, they will talk over your head. And then you're just tired. I've
yeah,
been sitting here for an hour. I don't know anything you said, and my baby still can't read or write. So something's not adding up. Most definitely. I'm more than happy to sit in those meetings. Most definitely.
I think that's
Yes.
awesome. And just for the record and for the audience, what is
Mhm.
IEP?
Individualized education plan. So, for instance, I might have testing anxiety. Being in a big
Mm,
group might cause me too much anxiety. So, when we have to do tests, they have to pull me out and put me in a separate room. I might have issues reading. So, instead of me reading the test, somebody reads it to me and now I can do well. Just
okay.
it helps break down those barriers. We don't want, because you can't read the question, oh, I can't pass the test because I couldn't read the question. When I know the stuff, I just can't read especially in math, you see that a lot when they can't read, but they have to read the word problems. That's where those IEPs really come into play. And just,
Okay.
you know what? Those things can follow your child and then they don't have to last forever. Is what people think, oh, if I get my child in a special education and get them labeled, they're going to be behind. No, that baby might need that extra help and extra support right now.
I like that. I like that there because there is a stigma
Oh,
around
most
special
definitely.
education,
And
right?
especially in the black community.
Absolutely.
People, we don't like the labels, but it's like I'd rather my child have an IP than be in the 8th grade and he's still reading at a first grade level.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Always ask people what's in your bag. So,
mhm.
what is your biggest asset or gain that you feel your business possesses right now?
I feel like I can reach so many homes in the community. Like this can go more than just tutoring. Like I said, eventually I want to go out to the parks and just have story time where just come
Mm,
and listen to a bedtime story. Like these are things that we might take for granted, but there are so many children who don't even get to hear a bedtime story, before they go to bed. With the money that I won from the cohort, I brought a projector screen and projector. I want to do movie nights at the park. Pull
oh,
up, we got
wow.
popcorn,
Okay.
hot dogs. Just come and watch a movie. Just providing safe outlets for these children, to go to. It doesn't always have to be education, education, education. Even being safe is a part of them learning because if I don't feel safe, I
Yeah,
can't learn. So I just
absolutely.
want to make them as safe and as comfortable as possible so then they can tap into their full potential. Because if you're not safe, if you don't feel safe, you don't care about anything. You're just thinking, am I going to be harmed? Is something going to happen to me? You can't learn, you can't read, you can't write.
Okay. So I did hear um, s- collaboration in some of that, right? You talked about story time and
Yes.
different things like that. So now we're sending a shout out to all the children's book authors and different things who,
Especially the Black children's book authors.
yes.
You'd be surprised how many books like are not meant, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the books we did just a survey. Most of the books were about they had animals, like, and that was like it was more books about puppies and cats as opposed to like actually the children that you're reading, reading the books to. So when I was a pre-K teacher, all my books were they were in Spanish or they had the little black and brown. Like I was very big on you are going to be reflected in this classroom. That you are going to see yourself in this
I
classroom.
love
You have
that.
to. I had so many girls want to lock their hair up because Miss Ashley has locks. Like I didn't get to see that growing up. I think I had one Black teacher out of my whole, like from elementary to high school. And just for you to be able to, my first pre-K teacher was a Black woman, and she set the standard, high for me. Even letting them know, you don't have to fight with your teacher, but let that teacher know, this is not, I'm not feeling this, or I need you to explain this. Even letting them know that they can be advocates for themselves, and they don't have to, just because she's a teacher, that doesn't put her, this power position over you. You can still
Yeah.
talk to her or
Yeah.
him.
And sometimes I think kids do have an issue with
Yes.
being able to express themselves to authority.
Yes.
Right. And so I think that's wonderful that you are instilling that power, right? That confidence. Hey,
Yes.
ask for help. Don't
Yes,
sit
that's
back
your
and
right.
just, yeah,
And
absolutely.
the kids know, like Miss Ashley, I was a fun teacher. I'm always doing the pajama day, wacky hair day, but they also knew Miss Ashley didn't play. When it was time to do work, we gonna sit down and do work. But their parents loved me for that because they knew, like, Miss Ashley, I'm not calling you unless it's like something outrageous because I'm gonna be able to handle your child while they're in my room. That is my job, is to teach them. So they knew like she's gonna love them, but she's also gonna put structure
Right.
and make sure they do what they're supposed to
I
do.
love
And I
that.
think teachers have to have that. You have to have that balance because a lot of times they just want to discipline. That kid has to feel connected to you first. They have to bond with you, and if they don't, no matter what you tell them, they're not gonna care.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. So tell the people out there, how can we get in touch with Ashley or Education on Wheels Tutoring and More? How can we get in touch with you? All handles, like the best way. I know you said text earlier,
Yes.
but
So
are there
Miss
any other
Ashley's still a
avenues?
new business, and I am working on my website. So within a month, these next couple of weeks, I will be rolling, out my website. I will also be doing a Facebook page as well, Instagram. So I'm really tapping into all the social media. I'm about to make this do what it do. So you
Okay.
guys will, start seeing me, and I will start, word of mouth is key. I just have families, hey, Miss Ashley, Miss Ashley. That's even how I used to get so many kids enroll in my pre-K class. I would always have a waiting list. Miss Ashley, just send your kid to Miss Ashley. So I want to be a household name. I definitely do.
Okay. Well, you
Definitely
know
do.
what? We're gonna go ahead and claim. We're
I
gonna go ahead and
definitely do.
claim it live
Yes,
today.
I want to be a household name. And you know what? I just love these babies, and somebody has to do it. Everybody doesn't have that gift to work with children, but the ones that do, it is definitely our duty to. What else are we here for? To impart into these babies and help them be the best that they can be.
I love it. And I appreciate you coming by
Thank
and
you.
talking to us. I look forward, we kind of talked a little bit
Yes,
before, and I look forward to you coming and talking to the next cohort
most definitely.
about just preparing for the pitch, right?
Yes.
And so we look forward to seeing you again.
And the pitch is not scary. I promise it's not. It wasn't scary for me. I actually had fun. My daughter and her friend came and joined in. We had a little skit. That was the best part to me was the pitch. It wasn't scary at all. I loved it. And I thank
Okay.
you for the opportunity. I learned so much
You're
in that
welcome.
class.
I'm so proud
Yes.
of you.
Thank you
And I
so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you've heard it all here, y'all. So thank you for tuning in to Get the Bag, Business Assets and Gains, where success is in your bag. Good night.